trusting yourself.
This is part 4 of a 6-part series on intuition as an operating system, what we call the second paradigm. Here's where we left off.
When we find the courage to look certain doom in the eyes, we're finding the courage to defy logic. We use our intuition to access something outside of our lived experience, soul. But soul is not a mystery. It's just underused.
Every one of those feelings we've ever had asked us to leave the comforts of our certainty. Yes. But at times that feeling just asked us to leave a circumstance that just wasn't serving us anymore.
That job that was sucking the life out of us more every day, that relationship that was so unhealthy that even our friends knew it probably wouldn't last much longer, or that city that only brought us dead end after dead end, no matter how much we tried to make something work.
At some point, it didn't matter how much we wanted to stick around or how much sense it made to stay. The pain just got too unbearable, and it seemed like there was no amount of effort that could make it any better.
Sometimes we feel like we're forced to change, like we don't have any other choice. Sometimes it gets so painful being where we're at that the most logical decision is to defy logic and walk into the flames.
And sometimes that's true. But every time that feeling comes in far in advance, we always know far before we ever felt forced to make that change, that a change was coming.
Soul and intuition aren't mysteries. They're something we're already familiar with. It's that feeling far in advance, far before we're forced to make a change, that gives us a little heads up and a nudge in the right direction. So what happens if we listen to that feeling before we're forced to?
Well, the same thing that happens eventually anyway, just without all the sloppy pain spewed all over the final chapter. This feeling always gave us a heads up and always nudged us in the right direction.
Trusting our soul and listening to our intuition is really just making those decisions a little bit earlier and making those transitions a little smoother. It's trusting that feeling even before it makes sense or before things have to get so bad that we take the leap anyway.
But what many people are finding all around the world is that their intuition is good for far more than just avoiding pain. It sets us up for unique opportunities for growth and insight, too. It gives us a life worth living, one that's deeply fulfilling, beyond words. There's nothing more exhilarating than looking certain doom in the eyes time and time again and saying, I don't believe you, because I trust this feeling. I trust myself to overcome and to find a new life on the other side of this wall of flames.
We leap for no reason beyond trusting this feeling, trusting our intuition, trusting soul.
And it's as if suddenly life has a purpose, beyond avoiding certain doom on endless treadmills of pain and hardship.
Suddenly we come alive.
We realize there is more to life than just that endless treadmill. This feeling is actually quite familiar in other ways too. It's something that's been described for a long time. We came here for something larger. Our intuition connects us to soul, maybe even to a higher power. After all, what other force could possibly be behind such wisdom that defies logic, guides us through certain doom, and creates deep feelings of exhilaration and fulfillment along the way? Our more ancient traditions point to a God and rules for existence. But this isn't about some rule set, right and wrong, or eternal punishment. It's about an experience that's being had right now by everyone. It's that series of little nudges that drastically changes the entire experience of life.
It's soul.
Weirdly, for those who consistently trust this unknown force within them, they have this experience of becoming more of themselves, more liberated, more expressed. It's as if we were never meant to be held captive within this prison of managing our uncertainty. It's as if, all along, it's been little more than a nasty side effect of intuitionOS. It's as if who we truly are lies in that odd, illogical feeling, underneath the manic and frantic scramble of our minds to create as much certainty as we can throughout our imaginary ideas of money, wealth, career, all things we made up for ourselves, a treadmill we put ourselves on. It's as if we're only now, just beginning to find our way out of this self-made prison of thought and back to this thing we truly are, underneath it.
Is it crazy to say that our intuition, this force within us, leads us back to who we actually are? Is it crazy to say we have a soul and that we're connected to something larger? It seems even crazier to say that we're not, that all we are is this endless mental scramble to avoid uncertainty and ensure our survival. Soul is not a mystery, it's just underused.
We hold on for dear life to our fears and misconceptions about this world, and we give up the things that bring us deep fulfillment and purpose.
For what?
Maybe this is what all those ancient traditions of old have been pointing us toward. Maybe it was never meant to be a set of rules at all, just passed down wisdom, to trust this force within us that defies the logic of our own creation and leads us to who we truly are underneath it. Still, if we're going to go any further down this path of exploration, we have to acknowledge a really big question. If soul and intuition is who we truly are, what's all this other stuff?
Why do I doubt myself? Why do I scramble to ensure my safety? Why do I fear what's uncertain in the first place?
Well, no different than soul or intuition, this too can be understood through our own experience. This is intuitionOS.
This is the second paradigm.